This might not work. This phone is fidgety. What to say? What do you say when you feel like there's nothing to say? We often fill the silence with words just to cover up our uncomfortableness. Instead of going through that initial awkward phase where you're just there with the other person. So who, and this is a rhetorical question, who decided that something had to be said? And how did it become so prevalent in our society that that's just what we do when we're uncomfortable? We fill it with words. It seems like the mind needs to jump in and try to correct the uncomfortable state. But the truth is, the mind can't. All the mind can say is, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. That's it. And it doesn't actually do anything for that feeling. Because the moment you stop talking, if you both did, the feeling comes back. So we need to pass through that. I call this a comfortable silence. And if you can't just sit comfortably with someone in silence, then you know you're not really friends, not really. I would call that an acquaintance, and that's fine. There is nothing wrong with, being an acquaintance or, not being a true friend. And these are just words. You may be feeling right now, well, these are my friends, that's my friends, that's my friends. So let's put that aside. When you sit in comfortable silence, when you sit in silence with someone, you're more yourself than any other time. You're more yourself than when you're speaking, I should say. You're more truly close to who you are before you came here. You're more truly yourself as you are without any labels. And remember, labels were all given to us. I'm gonna take this into the grow room. At any minute, this phone might just start acting weird on me. So why are we afraid of silence? And that's not something I can't really answer that myself. I feel like I don't have a good answer to why we have to fill silence with words. But I do know that it happens and that it's unnecessary. Very unnecessary to fill the space, the empty space of our being. It keeps us always a few, if only one, pardon my difficulty explaining myself today, it keeps us a step away from truly being able to connect with someone. When you are with yourself, you don't necessarily need to say anything. Oftentimes you can just be by yourself. You don't need to fill that gap with any words. even though oftentimes we may revert to our thinking, overthinking. And when you are not in your mind, not thinking, when you are just yourself, alone, in your silence, you are you. And this you that is there before any words are said, it's strange that we can't show that to another human being without feeling a sort of uncomfortableness. So this video is really more of a invitation, a challenge for you to share some silence, the comfortable or uncomfortable silence, to just share yourself as you are, and to try to bring in that state of oneness, that state of just pure being with other people, to share who you really are without a label, without needing to explain, justify, feel as though you need to develop the relationship by the use of words, to just be there with the person. It's almost as though, in the same manner that you wouldn't take your clothes off in front of a person and just be naked, it's almost as though we can't be naked without the words. We can't just be our naked being around people. We have this nasty habit of covering up our true being with useless words. If you ever listen to half, if not more than half, of the conversations you have with the people you label as your friends, you're repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating the same things over and over and over. And for what? Really, for what? Why do we need to repeat over and over? It is simply to cover that uncomfortable feeling, because we feel as though we can't actually be ourselves fully in front of another. It's scary for some reason. Now, I've been practicing this more and more and more for the last 5 years, and people get very almost insulted when you bring in the space of silence. People expect you to join them in their chatter. What I tell you now, it is useless. A lot of the chatter is just useless chatter. And it truly, truly is a block which prevents us from really knowing a person and ourselves. So I invite you to share silence, your silence, the silence that you are without words. Come here, Leah. Just like an animal doesn't need a word. An animal can just be themselves purely, unapologetic, just state of being. And we love them for it. When we look into an animal's eyes, we can feel that pure essence looking directly at us. And it's comforting, it's soothing. Many people say they like animals more than they like people. But I tell you, all you need to do is to practice bringing in that silence for yourself. Just practice bringing in that silence into your conversations with the people you love, within yourself. When you find yourself in your thinking, return to your body, the feelings, the sensation of just being. Let's bring being into the conversation. wordless, pure essence. So, oh, I didn't say my normal intro. Hello and welcome back. And I'm at the end of the video, so I leave you with that. Wherever you are around the world, whatever time it is that you're watching this video, thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace.